Hi everyone. I'm gonna say nice things in this video, but it's not sponsored. I just really like this thing that I bought. It's EbaseNet version 2 modeling spray booth. It's designed by a Malaysian GBWC multiple champion, Eric Yap. And suffice to say, it's a spray booth for modelers designed by a modeler. So it addresses a couple of problems that modelers face that I found to be quite helpful. First of all, you can see that it's made of acrylic. And what that means is that because acrylic is incredibly chemically stable, you can use thinner to clean it. And it's not going to degrade the plastic. This wasn't the case with one of earlier model spray booths that I had. When I do thinners and all that on it, not only did it not get rid of the stains, it sort of degraded the plastic. So that's a very, very good feature on this booth. Second of all, what's really good is that it's actually quite quiet. It's running right now, and I can still talk over it. It's not going to, give me pause if I want to use this at night. It's not going to wake up the whole house. So that's something that I feel holds me back from my hobby, because I don't want to intrude, or I don't want to sort of, bother people with 6 hours, especially late at night. So that's another great feature. And speaking of extraction, thirdly, because it creates this low pressure from this sort of crevice here, instead of on top, it's not extracting the air in this direction, causing sort of a whirlpool of air. It's pulling air directly away from my hairbrush, which is great because that actually causes stains on the sides, and it actually causes a bit of blowback. So that's one thing that I discovered, which is actually better in this case than in other airbrush days. While this is a great product, I wanted to talk about some of the things that might again give you pause if you bought this, so that you can make sort of a more educated decision. It is a very good product. It's very quality. It feels great and it looks very nice. It's got laser etched logos and everything. But you build it yourself. It comes flat packed, and because it comes flat packed, you have to construct it literally with a set of metal bolts. You can't mess them up because they're all the same size and shape. But to build it, you have to really build it in order. In terms of difficulty, I say this is probably like IKEA level difficulty, but the instructions are not forgiving in the sense that if you don't do them in order, if you are the kind of builder who throws out the instructions and then sort of wings it, you might have to walk back a couple of steps, because there are specific cutouts in the acrylic that allow the wiring to flow through this entire thing. For example, behind the power switch and where the power goes out to the mains, those cutouts have to be specifically on a certain side, and also you have to feed the power through before you put on certain panels, or else you're going to have to take those panels off and feed with the wire through once again. So that might take you a little bit more time. Construction for this took me about 45 minutes. I'd say if I do it a second time, it'll be faster, but nobody builds this more at once. It's really solid construction. It doesn't creak like acrylic structures usually do. So that's good. But second of all, maybe this might be sort of a major feature that this thing lacks, is that you can't put air filters in it. So you can't, in some of the other spray booths, there is a sheet where you can put in aquarium filter or some kind of particle filter to prevent your exhaust from having flakes or powders or basically bits of paint that come out on the exhaust. So this will have to be exhausted to a place where you don't want any dust to land. Probably straight into a cardboard box where you can then throw all that dust away later, or probably to directly into a dumpster. I don't know. The important thing is that you are going to have dust coming out of the exhaust here because it doesn't have a filter. I get around it by putting a bit of filter medium inside the extractor hose itself. It does lower the pressure a little, but filters do that. So that's one thing that I do to prevent dust from landing, or from coming out of the exhaust. I would recommend you doing that, and then gives me enough confidence to at least extract this onto part of a outside of the house that isn't well traversed by people. It's not going to piss off my neighbors, so it gets a lot better with a little bit of filter medium inside the hose. But that might be something that may prevent you from considering this product. Aside from that, actually, strong extraction, very bright LED, replaceable because that's modular, you can take it out, and actually fairly high quality. This is a quality product. I cannot stress how nice tinted acrylic is. I really have a super boner for tinted clear plastic. But even if you don't, I would recommend this. It's a good product and it's going to last you a lifetime. This thing is very well built. Oh, another thing, you can't have the light on and the fan off simultaneously. It's not difficult to sort of wire that separately, but that may be one thing that, especially if you have very little space and so you sort of paint a hand brush in the same place as the airbrush, that might stop you from doing it. I'm going to rewire this with one additional switch on the side so that I can run the light without the fan running, so that I can paint here as well. I think this is a very nice backdrop for videos, so I might do that very soon. Aside from that, yes, good quality product, highly recommend. If you're in Singapore, you can get this off the shelf at M Workshop. I'll put some links below if I can find them. But there are only a couple in stock if you're in Singapore, so you might want to go down and have a look at this. All in all, 8 out of 10. I think it loses 2 points because of those two situations that I spoke about earlier. But definitely, in my case, this was a must get. I've been keeping my eye out for this one for quite a while. So yes, more videos coming soon. Take care. Bye bye.